Hey everyone, this is my 11-month update on testosterone. It is 5/23/16. Um, Next month will be my 1 year on T, which is crazy. Um, I wanted to do an update because some things have changed since my last update, and I figured that it would be good to do an update because I feel like a lot will also have changed between now and then. So we'll see. Um, but I wanted to talk a little bit about some decisions that I've made. I've had to decide to move forward with um, raising money for top surgery, and I've started doing that through a GoFundMe account. And I started, I think, like 2 weeks ago now. And yeah, I think about 2 weeks ago. And I'm doing extraordinarily well. It's extraordinarily, if I could use that word like twice in 10 seconds. Um, it's incredibly overwhelming how supportive everyone has been. Um, it is incredibly humbling. I am incredibly privileged to have a lot of people in my life that understand the value um, and the necessity that is behind top surgery and what it would mean to me. Um, and I've just been overwhelmed with the amount of support that I've gotten. It's been huge, and I can't say enough how incredible everyone has been. Like, people have just come out of nowhere, people who I haven't talked to really in years, people from high school, people that I don't really know very well, people that I don't know at all. Um, and then, people that I know well and stepping up to the plate and supporting me. Um, just it's extremely overwhelming and humbling, and it's really hard to find words to accurately express what it means to me, because it really, like, it's words can't do it justice. So in about that time frame, so like a little over 2 weeks that I've had it up, I've made $4,600, and that's a huge amount. And I'm so overwhelmed with the amount. A lot of people don't reach that at all when they don't do a GoFundMe. So this is becoming like an incredible reality for me. What I did a week ago or so was schedule a consultation with Dr. Melissa Johnson in Springfield, Mass. And that is on June 20th. And so that consultation will kind of give me an indication of, what kind of details around, like, what, obviously I know what kind of surgery I'll be having with a bilateral, what type, because I have a larger chest, a bilateral mastectomy, but it will tell me, like, kind of what else I will need and what tactics she would probably use. But I've been looking into a lot of different surgeons. There's two in the Mass area who I feel are the best choices. Two who have been highly recommended in a lot of circles that I have been in for a while, and I found that the results from these two individuals have proven to be the most consistent and what I like the best. It's hard because if it was my McWorld or my ultimate choice, it would be to fly down to Florida and then go see Dr. Garamoni or somebody out in California, but I just don't have the funds. Like paying for that on top of surgery would be just a whole nother set of financial costs that I could not endure. So unless I was somehow blessed with a whole bunch of money somehow, I could not afford to do that. Obviously, Garamoni's results, this is something that he does all day, every day, so his results are really spot on. But I think that I really trust what I'm seeing from Melissa Johnson and the other doctor. I'm seeing it potentially, depending on how my consultation goes with Dr. Johnson, is Dr. Tobias, so who's out of Boston. So we'll see how that goes. I am nervous, and I have been thinking and dreaming and fantasizing about this day for so long, about this idea of top surgery, that it's hard for me to even conceptualize it being a reality. For it to be even remotely feasible is really hard for me to even wrap my mind around. So I think I'm still kind of catching up my brain with that. But yeah, and so that's coming up. The things that I'm trying to also think about is my GoFundMe is the range is like that I'm fundraising to is like 7,000 and the median cost of surgery for Dr. Johnson is $8,500, which means I will probably land. It'll be at least that, and then probably more, based off of what I've heard, particularly for folks who need a little bit more work with a larger chest, or need more like lipo around certain sections, like to make the contoured chest look a little bit more formed. It just costs extra. Just like with all larger folks, everything costs extra. I'm not salty about that at all. But anyway, I don't know what the range will be. I don't know what I'm looking for a ballpark. So that'll give me, hopefully, the consultation an idea of what I'm looking at. The consultation will also give me the ability to hopefully also schedule an appointment or an actual surgery. What I need for that surgery, though, is a letter from my therapist, who I have been seeing only for, like, right now, a month. I started seeing, because I moved, I saw somebody last year. I talked about her. I didn't trust her. I stopped seeing her around the time that I started T. And once I learned that I could do informed consent through Fenway, I realized she wasn't helping me. I wasn't progressing, and I felt like she was commodifying off of my experience and didn't feel safe anymore with her. So I stopped seeing her about a year ago, actually. And so I could go back and ask her to write me a letter, but I know that she's going to charge me, and I don't like what she's going to have to say. Basically, like, she'd probably say things that are fine, but, like, I don't really trust what she has to say, because I don't think that she knows what she's doing. But anyway, I need to have a letter that has a diagnosis of gender dysphoria. And then I'm cleared for top surgery, essentially. And I need to have been seen for 3 months by this therapist, or a therapist, or at least 2 therapists, or a combination of. So by the June 20th date, I'll have been seen kind of 2 months for 2 months by this new therapist, who I really like and is good. But I wouldn't be able to schedule my surgery, I guess, until I had the 3-month mark, unless I got the letter from the other therapist. So, and I know the other therapist would charge me money, which I'm like fucking shady about. Which I guess it's time, and I get it, but it's like just more hoops to jump through. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The other piece is having enough money to pay for the surgery by the surgery date, which is, I don't know when that would be. So whether I, hustle and raise and save as much as I can before that date, and do what I can, and then put the rest on a care credit card, which going into more debt just makes me nauseous, but like it may have to happen. And the other thing is what I'm gonna, like, when I'm gonna be able to schedule the surgery. The ideal time would literally be right now. And I guess I think everything happens for a reason. When you're ready, you're ready. I started this GoFundMe at this point because I think I was in a place to be able to mentally handle what it meant to be out publicly in a way that was exposing and maybe even dangerous to myself, and exposing to my family, and that has a lot of implications, and it took a lot of thought and care to go through that process. But ideally I would have had all this done and be maybe doing it this, like, right now, but I'm not. I'm kind of a little bit behind, and it takes 4 to 6 weeks to recover from top surgery, and I don't really know exactly what that recovery looks like in terms of taking off of work. And because I work in higher ed, I work on an academic schedule, or academic calendar, rather, and that means basically September to May, I'm busy, and the summer is the more ideal time, and I don't know what her booking schedule looks like, and I just hope that, like, I have no idea what these logistics look like and how they would line up, and I don't know what taking time off of work looks like, even if that would be, even feasible, and I really don't even have a choice because it has to happen. So I'm hoping that my boss will also be understanding in that process. Yeah, so just a lot to think about, a lot of moving parts, and trying not to get, like, all wrapped up in too many of the logistical pieces, while I'm also excited about this being an opportunity that might happen. Obviously, there's a lot that needs to happen between now and the consult in June, and before scheduling a date and all of that, and raising the rest of the money. But I just feel like I've never felt so close to being this being so real, and it's an incredible feeling. It's really hard to describe. Uh, so I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who has read my story on GoFundMe or watched my videos on YouTube. Also, folks who have taken the time to share my experience, as well as generously donated. It's been incredible for me to have folks share their thoughts and feelings about my story. A big part of why I'm doing this, obviously, is to raise money for top surgery, but I really truly believe that my experience is to be used as kind of for a greater reason, and that's to educate people. At least that's kind of how I make sense of my life and what I've been given. And so I can't thank you enough for how generous you have been in donating to help me get closer to making this become a reality. It means the absolute world to me, and I can't thank you enough. I truly hope to help reach folks maybe who haven't thought about this before, who haven't, who don't know about these topics, and kind of just educate a little bit more and open up people's minds that I'm a real person with things that affect me, and trying to break down some of the barriers and demystify some of the things that people just don't understand. And I could not do that without all of you and all of your help. So thank you so much for doing all that you've done for me. With that said, I will do an update video for my 1 year on T, which will be around June 23rd. I'm going to be really busy the month of June, and leading up to that point, and my consult with Dr. Melissa Johnson is on the 20th, so things are going to be super busy, so it may be a few days late, but I hope to kind of do a 1 year, maybe comparison, compilation, as well as a whole update video on my experience with my consult. Maybe there'll be 2 different videos, I'm not sure. It all depends. Lots to come, and I'll keep you all updated. As always, feel free to reach out to me if you need anything. Happy to help. Looking forward to one day being able to make these videos and kind of be free, and should be able to show the rest of my chest.